Meow, meow, meow. Oliver and Jumpy, Story 42, Space Ball. It was a warm night under the stars. Jumpy and I were sitting at the veranda of my treehouse, enjoying a cool drink and listening to the frogs' calls in the nearby lake. I was looking up at a particular bright star and pointed it out to Jumpy. "It looks like that star is moving, don't you think?" Indeed, it was gaining speed by the second and increasing rapidly in size. That was not a star at all, maybe a meteor. And it looks like it is coming straight at us. Before our eyes, that ball of fire fell with a roaring sound and at great speed directly into the lake. There was a big splash and the ground shook through the impact. Then the water started to boil and steam rose from the surface as the fallen object rapidly cooled down. Wow, did you see how shiny that thing was? With the enormous speed of the UFO, we could only catch a glimpse before it had disappeared below the surface. There was nothing else to do except to wait until tomorrow to investigate. Next morning, all the people were gathering at the lake's edge, discussing last night's event. We were joining in when suddenly there was a noise coming from the center of the lake. And then the surface broke and a silvery shiny ball emerged, hovering and turning a small distance from the surface. Everybody was a little frightened, but inquisitive at the same time. Then the UFO was moving towards us. The crowd parted to let it hover up the beach onto dry land, where it kept rotating in place. We had a feeling of being observed. A dark opening appeared in its side. Then stairs extended to the floor, and one very funny creature walked down and stood in front of us. I could not tell if it was a girl or a boy. It was all red and looked like an upstanding naked snail, with green eyes on top of two antennae and legs like a snail, moving slowly in a wavy manner. But it had 3 very little arms coming out from its chest. It was hardly taller than a squirrel. We were all standing there staring at this strange thing. Then it started talking. Spitch, smetch, smutsy, dutch, quitchik, quatchik, mac, I had no idea what he meant, but being polite I answered, Flipsy, flapsy, matching, tapsy, siboli, kumpus, quacky. The alien looked at me confused with his eyes moving around. Then it obviously made up its mind, because suddenly a silvery beam shot out from his head and locked onto my forehead. I'm sorry to have invaded your brain, but I had to learn your language. My name is Blupsy and I come from Blapisia, a star far away. I know now everything about your Sillandia and that you are Oliver. I was flabbergasted. So what is the purpose of your visit? I asked Blupsy. I come from a planet where everybody is very serious and we become sick from too much seriousness. Eventually we need to have a holiday in a place where we can laugh and be silly. So Sillandia seemed to be the ideal country for my recovery holiday. You have certainly come to the right place at the right time. Halloween is arriving soon and we'll all be even sillier than usual. So you can take part and you will join in the fun and become healthy again. We all dressed up for trick-or-treating and started knocking on doors to fill our bags. Eventually we arrived at an old house with broken windows. Looks like there's nobody home, let's go on. No, we should at least try and knock, said Joey greedily, as not to lose any extra treats. So we knocked, and at the precise moment candlelight appeared in all windows and loud organ music played somewhere in the house. "I'm coming, no need to bring the door down," an unearthly haunted voice called out. Then the door opened, and it was the real Dracula himself. "Have you lost your voices? Here you are." And he dropped something heavy into each of our bags. "I like your disguise," he said, looking at Blupsy's eye antennas standing out of his costume. We barely said thank you and ran off as fast as we could. When we had returned to my treehouse, we emptied our bags to check out our stash. Immediately we could recognize Dracula's present. It was the ugliest gargoyle you could think of. But it was made of chocolate, so Dracula was not at all bad. Well, this had become a different Halloween this year. With our guest and Dracula's trick-or-treat gift, Blupsy said that he felt already much better with all the silliness. He still stayed with us a few more days to learn how to become properly silly before returning to his home again. We hope Blupsy told his family a few good stories about Sillandia. Who knows, we may have many more alien visitors in future. Blupsy bye. I hope you enjoyed this story. Please recommend it to your friends. I welcome any inquiries concerning publication of my tales. Thank you. Bye bye until next time.